It's not just limited to family gatherings.
Yeah.
Remember that awful date with the guy from Occupid?
The giant cherub.
The giant cherub.
Who drops the bomb that his ex-girlfriend was black and crazy.
Ugh.
It's like...
The way Carty-Williams portrays these incidents is so raw.
Yes.
And relatable.
It's about more than just one bad date.
Exactly.
It speaks to a larger...
Welcome to Witter. Who Has Time to Read? The podcast that brings deep dives for busy minds. Listen to AI hosts Jane and Dane and get ready to unpack the world's most captivating books in just a fraction of the time. Whether commuting, working out, or just squeezing in a quick break, we deliver key insights, thought-provoking themes, and takeaways you can carry into your day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Plus, use our links in the description to purchase this book. Your support helps us bring more engaging book discussions to you. Listen and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Who has time to read? You do, with Witter.
Welcome back to Witter, your shortcut to being well-read, even when, life's got you going a mile a minute.
That's us, deep dives for busy minds.
That is us.
Yes.
And this month, we are celebrating Black voices with deep dives into books by contemporary Black authors that everyone should have on their radar.
Absolutely.
So today we are tackling a book that's both hilarious and heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams.
Oh, such a good book.
It was a smash hit when it came out, and you might have even caught the TV adaptation that dropped last
June of last year.
Yes.
You can stream it now.
You can stream it now.
Yeah.
This book really dives into some profound stuff. So
it does.
Buckle up, because this deep dive is going to be a journey.
It is a journey.
How's this?
It's fascinating how Carty-Williams takes these everyday experiences.
Right.
And weaves them into a narrative that's so relatable and thought-provoking.
Absolutely. So let's meet Queenie Jenkins, our protagonist.
Yes.
She is a 25-year-old Jamaican British woman trying to figure things out in London.
Pretty standard.
Sounds pretty standard so far, right?
Yeah.
But Queenie's dealing with a lot.
Oh, yeah.
She's working at a national newspaper.
Okay.
Trying to reconcile her Jamaican roots with her British life.
Yeah.
And, she just got dumped by her long-term boyfriend, Tom.
And that's where we meet her, right in the opening scene at the gynecologist.
Oh, my gosh.
Which is already a vulnerable position to be in, right?
Yeah.
And she's sending X at the end of her text to Tom.
Oh, God.
Just to prove she's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that really sets the tone for Queenie's emotional state.
I know. I was like,
are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you really okay?
Totally. It's
like she's using humor to mask her pain.
Yes.
Which is something I think a lot of us can relate to.
100%.
So speaking of relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Queenie and Tom.
Okay.
On the surface.
Yeah.
They seem like a good match.
They do. But as we delve deeper.
Right.
We see cracks starting to show.
Yeah, you see those cracks.
Exactly.
Starting with that easy familiarity, that comfortable love.
Yeah.
But then, you see how it gets strained by what they call Queenie's stuff.
Right.
And I think that phrase itself speaks volumes.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're brushing aside her very real emotional struggles.
It's almost dismissive.
Very dismissive.
That's just your stuff.
Yeah. It's like a classic communication breakdown.
Right.
And we see this play out in their different ways of dealing with conflict.
Yeah.
Tom gets frustrated when Queenie shuts down.
Yeah.
And she, in turn, struggles to articulate her feelings.
There's this one scene where Queenie is in the hospital.
Right.
And her Aunt Maggie points out that Tom's nowhere to be seen. It's a subtle observation, but so telling.
It is.
And it highlights these unspoken expectations in relationships.
Yes.
And the pressure that can build up.
Yeah, because it's like...
when you're not meeting those unspoken expectations.
Right. And who are you supposed to be in this relationship?
Exactly.
And it also reveals how, family dynamics can play a role...
Absolutely.
...in romantic relationships.
Yes. And things come to a head at Tom's mother's birthday party.
Oh.
Where Queenie feels the need to defend herself against some pretty offensive remarks from Tom's uncle.
Ugh, I hated that uncle.
Oh, he was the worst.
Yes.
It's like a turning point in their relationship.
It is a turning point.
You can just feel it.
Yes, this incident exposes the deeper issues.
Yeah.
That were already simmering beneath the surface.
Ooh, exactly. And after that blow up,
Yeah.
Queenie decides to move out.
Okay.
And tries to cope by, let's just say she makes some questionable choices.
Questionable. Like, remember that encounter with the giant cherub from A Cupid?
Oh, my gosh.
The one who casually mentions his ex-girlfriend was black and crazy.
Oh, I was so uncomfortable reading that.
I know, me too.
Like, it was just...
so awkward.
Like, ugh.
It speaks to a larger issue about the fetishization and harmful stereotypes that Black women often encounter.
Especially in the online dating world.
Oh, especially in the online dating world.
It's not just about one bad date.
Right.
It's about a pattern of behavior that can be incredibly damaging.
Incredibly. It's refreshing, though, that Carty-Williams doesn't shy away from these difficult conversations.
No, she doesn't.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that makes this book so powerful.
So powerful and important.
But amidst all this chaos, there is a bright spot.
Okay, what's that?
Queenie's amazing group of friends.
Oh, her friends.
Her friends Darcy, Kiezik, and Cassandra are her lifelines.
They're great.
They are hilarious, supportive, and always there for each other.
Always.
And I love their group chat name.
Oh, yeah.
The Corgis.
The Corgi.
That little detail just adds so much personality.
So much personality.
To their dynamic.
Yes, I love that.
It's so them.
It's so them.
Yeah. And that sense of camaraderie is crucial for Queenie.
Yeah.
Especially as she navigates this turbulent period in her life.
Absolutely.
You know, they provide a safe space for her.
Yes.
To be vulnerable and to process everything she's going through.
And there's this scene where they're all watching fireworks together.
I love that scene.
It just captures like the complexities and unspoken love within their friendships. Yeah. It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Right. It's real.
There's tension and history there.
Yeah.
But it's clear they have each other's backs.
Always.
And that's the beauty of Carty-Williams' writing.
I know. It's like she captures these nuanced moments of connection so authentically.
It's not just about grand gestures. It's about
the little things.
Yeah, the everyday moments.
Yes, that make up a real friendship.
Exactly.
But it's not just her friends who shaped Queenie's journey.
Right.
It's her family, especially her relationship with her mother, Sylvie.
Right.
Plays a huge role.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole other layer.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay. Tell me more.
We start to see a different side to Sylvie.
Okay.
And we learn about her past trauma with a man named Roy.
Oh, gosh.
It's a heartbreaking revelation.
It is.
That adds a whole new layer of complexity to their mother-daughter bond.
So much complexity.
It's like this revelation sheds light on why Sylvie might be so guarded and why she struggles to connect with Queenie on an emotional level.
On that deeper level.
And there's this gut-wrenching scene where Queenie overhears her mother confessing her past struggles and her desire to protect Queenie from a similar fate.
Oh, that's rough.
And it's just...
That's so powerful, though.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
It speaks to the cycle of trauma.
Yeah.
And the unspoken burdens that can be passed down through generations.
Absolutely. And that's why this book is just so important to read.
And it's during this period of turmoil that Queenie decides to seek therapy.
Good for her.
Which opens up a whole new chapter in her journey of self-discovery.
Right. Because therapy can be a really powerful tool for growth and healing.
And her sessions with Janet, her therapist, are raw and honest.
They are.
They delve into Queenie's past traumas, her present struggles, and the societal pressures she faces as a Black woman.
All of it comes out.
And Janet suggests something pretty unexpected.
What's that?
Swimming.
Swing.
As a form of physical release.
Okay, interesting.
But, of course, Queenie initially resists the idea.
Of course she does.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Right.
Right.
It's symbolic of Queenie's resistance to facing her issues head on.
Exactly.
You know, she'd rather distract herself with dating apps and casual encounters than delve into the deeper emotional work.
But eventually she gives in.
Okay, good.
And ends up at the swimming pool.
Right.
Surrounded by trim sunbathers.
Oh, no.
Feeling incredibly self-conscious about her body.
I can imagine.
And while she's there, she overhears this conversation about mold in rental properties.
Mold?
Which kind of draws a parallel to her own less than ideal living situation.
I see that.
It's fascinating how Carty-Williams
she's so good at
weaves these seemingly mundane details into the narrative.
Yeah, and they become metaphors for the anxieties and challenges that young people, especially in a city like London, often face.
Especially in a city like London.
It's about more than just mold.
Yeah.
It's about feeling stuck and overwhelmed, life is just closing in on you.
And you know what? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like those tiny details ground the story in reality.
Yes.
Making Queenie's struggles feel even more relatable.
It makes you feel like you're right there with her going through it.
And then in another therapy session, Queenie has this epiphany about her mother. They're discussing Sylvie's pregnancy and the challenges she faced.
Right.
And Queenie realizes just how strong and resilient who mother actually is.
Oh, I love that for Queenie.
Yeah, it's like a pivotal moment.
It is.
Like a shift in perspective.
Yeah.
She begins to see her mother in a new light, appreciating the sacrifices she made.
Yeah.
And understanding her.
On a deeper level.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful moment of growth.
Yes.
For Queenie.
A sign that she's starting to heal and to break free from those negative patterns of thinking.
Yes, break free, Queenie.
And as Queenie starts to piece her life back together, she returns to work.
Right.
Determined to focus on her career.
Good for her.
But of course, things don't stay simple for long. She has this encounter with Ted, a colleague.
Okay.
In the lift. And his behavior has completely changed.
Oh, that's scary.
He avoids eye contact and seems fearful.
Ooh.
Which is a stark contrast to his previous advances.
Yeah, like what happened?
And it's chilling, right?
It is.
It's a reminder of how power dynamics can shift in professional settings.
Yeah.
And how easily manipulation can occur.
Absolutely.
And Queenie, recognizing this change, decides to confront Ted head on.
Good.
She calls him out on his manipulative behavior and refuses to engage in his attempts at reconciliation.
Ah, I love that.
It's a powerful moment of empowerment for Queenie.
It is. She's taking back her power.
She is.
Yes.
And then Kiyasuke.
Oh, Kiyasuke.
Her best friend. Steps in to defend her.
I love her.
Confronting Ted directly.
Yes. Queenie needs people like that in her corner.
Oh, absolutely.
And that scene just showcases like the importance of supportive friendships. And the strength that comes from standing up for yourself and others. You know, it takes courage to challenge those in positions of power.
Heck, that's...
And Kaizuki's actions are truly inspiring.
They are.
And then in the midst of all this drama, Queenie makes a big decision.
What's that?
She moves out of her grandparents' house and into a small studio apartment.
Yes.
Like, it's a symbolic step.
It is.
Toward independence and reclaiming of her own space.
Her own space.
Yes. It signifies a turning point in her journey. She's choosing to prioritize her own needs and to create a life that's truly her own.
And then there's this heartwarming scene where Queenie celebrates her birthday with her family and friends.
That's good.
It's a reminder that even in the midst of chaos and heartache, there's always room for love, laughter, and connection.
Yes, there is.
And Kaizuki's toast.
Oh, I love that toast.
Is particularly poignant.
Yes.
She celebrates Queenie's resilience and strength, acknowledging the challenges she's overcome and the woman she's becoming.
It's a beautiful moment of affirmation.
It is.
Yeah, it shows how far Queenie has come and how much she's grown throughout this journey.
Absolutely. And it just makes me think about like all the challenges that she faced and how she's come out stronger on the other side.
Like, it's really inspiring.
It is inspiring.
Yeah. It's incredible how Queenie manages to weave like those intimate personal moments with these broader societal issues. It's like,
I was just thinking the same.
It's not just a coming-of-age story. It's like a commentary on what it means to be a Black woman in today's world.
And one of the things Carty-Williams does so brilliantly is how she exposes those everyday microaggressions that Queenie encountered.
Right? Like that scene at Tom's mother's birthday party where his uncle makes those off-color remarks.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's subtle, but it cuts deep.
It does, and it highlights how racism can be so insidious.
Yes.
Hiding in plain sight, disguised as just a joke.
Right, or casual ignorance.
And for Queenie, it's this added emotional labor.
Yes.
Constantly having to navigate those spaces.
Exhausting.
And it's not just limited to family gatherings.
Yeah.
Remember that awful date with the guy from Cupid?
The giant cherub.
The giant cherub.
Who drops the bomb that his ex-girlfriend was black and crazy. It's like...
The way Carty-Williams portrays these incidents is so raw.
Yes.
and relatable.
It's about more than just one bad date.
Exactly.
It speaks to a larger pattern of behavior.
Yes, a dangerous stereotype that Black women are somehow more difficult or unstable.
And these microaggressions, as subtle as they may seem, can have a real impact on someone's mental health.
Absolutely.
And self-worth.
And it's not just overt racism
that Queenie grapples with.
The book also tackles those subtler forms of bias, like the pressures she faces in her workplace.
Okay.
Remember when her colleague Gina criticizes Queenie's pitches?
Oh, yeah.
For not being tight enough?
Right.
It makes you wonder if those same criticisms would be leveled at a white colleague.
It raises questions about the double standards that Black women often face in professional settings.
Yes. Like, they have to work twice as hard to prove their competence and their worth.
And that pressure is palpable.
Throughout the book.
Throughout the entire book.
Speaking of pressure.
Yes.
Let's talk about mental health, which is a major theme in Queenie.
Okay.
We see her struggling with anxiety, depression, and the lingering effects of trauma.
Right. And her decision to seek therapy is a huge step.
It is.
Through her sessions with Janet, we get a glimpse into Queenie's internal world.
Yes.
Her pain and her attempts to make sense of her experiences.
It's so important that Carty-Williams doesn't shy away from portraying mental health struggles.
I agree.
Especially within the Black community.
Yeah, that's a conversation that needs to happen.
Yes.
More openly and honestly.
There's still so much stigma surrounding mental health.
There is.
And Queenie challenges that stigma head on.
It does.
Remember that incredibly raw and powerful scene where Queenie has a complete breakdown in therapy?
Oh, yeah.
She talks about the immense burden of being a Black woman in a society that often feels hostile.
That scene gave me chills.
The culmination of all the microaggressions, the societal pressures, the internalized pain that Queenie's been carrying.
And it highlights a crucial point.
What's that?
Therapy, while a powerful tool for individual healing, can't single-handedly dismantle systemic racism.
Right.
Or erase the lived experiences of Black women.
It's a reality check, isn't it?
It is.
It's a reminder that while therapy can provide support and coping mechanisms,
right,
there are larger societal forces at play
that
need to be addressed.
And Queenie doesn't offer easy answers.
No, it doesn't.
Or solutions to these complex issues.
Instead, it invites us to engage in deeper conversations.
Yes.
About race, identity, and mental health.
And it does so in a way that's both engaging and thought-provoking.
You find yourself rooting for Queenie.
I know, me too.
Even when she's making decisions that you might not agree with.
Exactly.
That's the power of Carty-Williams' writing.
That is.
Queenie's flaws, her vulnerability, her messy journey are what make her so human.
So human.
And so relatable.
And speaking of vulnerability, we can't overlook Queenie's complex relationship with her mother, Sylvie.
Yes. Let's talk about Sylvie.
The book delves into their shared history, revealing the love, the tension, and the generational trauma that binds them.
The revelation about Sylvie's traumatic past with Roy was a gut punch. It adds a whole new layer of understanding to their dynamic.
Absolutely. Like, it explains Sylvie's guarded nature, her hesitation to open up emotionally, and her sometimes overprotective behavior towards Queenie.
It's a stark reminder of how trauma can reverberate through generations, impacting family dynamics in profound ways.
And even though Queenie clashes with her grandparents, especially her grandmother, you can sense this underlying love and duty that connects them.
That quiet moment where Queenie's grandmother comes to pick her up after her breakdown in therapy speaks volumes.
Oh, it does.
About their unspoken bond.
It's like those small acts of care often speak louder than words.
Yes.
It shows that even when families have their differences, there's this deep well of love that runs beneath the surface.
And of course, we have to talk about Queenie's friendships.
Oh, yes. Her friends are the best.
They are a beacon of light throughout this entire story.
They are.
They listen without judgment. They offer advice when needed and are always there to pick Queenie up when she falls.
Always.
The Corgis, as they call themselves, are the epitome of squad goals.
They are.
I love how Carty-Williams captures the nuances of female friendship.
Me too.
The laughter, the support, the occasional bickering,
and
the unwavering loyalty.
Yes.
That sense of community is so vital for Queenie, and especially as she navigates the complexities of being a Black woman.
Yeah.
In a world that can often feel isolating.
It can.
It makes you think about the importance of having a support system.
Yes.
A tribe that has your back no matter what.
Exactly. And it's through those connections with her friends, her family, and even her therapist that Queenie starts to find her voice, her strength, and ultimately a path toward healing and self-acceptance.
And speaking of paths, this deep dive wouldn't be complete without talking about the TV adaptation of Queenie.
Oh, yes. The show.
Which brings all these themes and characters to life on screen.
It's quite a feat to adapt such a nuanced and complex story for television.
It is.
But I think the show does a remarkable job.
I agree.
Buckle up, listeners, because in part 3, we'll be diving into the Queenie TV series, comparing it to the book and exploring how it tackles these crucial themes of race, identity, and mental health in a visual medium.
So we unpacked the book, and now it's time to talk about how Queenie made the leap from page to screen.
Yeah, from page to screen.
Bringing a story as layered as this to life visually is a challenge.
Oh, it is a challenge. Wouldn't you say? It really is. Yeah. But I think the showrunners pulled it off.
I agree.
Like, the casting is spot on.
Yes.
The actress who plays Queenie completely embodies her humor, her vulnerability, her strength.
Yes.
You instantly connect with her.
I felt that too.
And the way they visually captured Queenie's world, from the bustling streets of Brixton to her chaotic yet cozy flat, it's like you're right there with her, experiencing London through her eyes.
I was particularly impressed with how the show handles those subtle moments of microaggressions and societal pressures we talked about earlier.
Like those little interactions. The dismissive way some of Queenie's white colleagues treat her ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Or the casual racism she faces on dating apps.
It's so true. They're portrayed with such nuance and realism.
Yes.
It's almost uncomfortable to watch.
It is.
You see how those seemingly small acts, those microaggressions, chip away at Queenie's confidence and self-worth.
It's a constant reminder that racism isn't always overt or blatant. It can be insidious and woven into the fabric of everyday life.
And the show doesn't shy away.
No, it doesn't.
From those difficult conversations about race and identity.
It confronts those issues head on.
Yes.
Pushing viewers to examine their own biases and think critically about the systemic inequalities that still exist today.
And what I appreciate is that it does so without feeling preachy or heavy-handed.
Exactly.
It maintains that balance between exploring serious themes and showcasing Queenie's humor. Her warmth and her messy but relatable journey of self-discovery.
I also noticed that the TV adaptation gives more depth to Queenie's friends.
I love that.
We see their individual struggles, their triumphs, and the complexities of their relationships with each other in a way that wasn't as fleshed out in the book.
Their dynamic is so beautifully portrayed.
It is.
It captures that authentic sisterhood, the love, the support, and even those little disagreements that come with truly close friendships.
Yes.
Through those bonds, Queenie finds a sense of belonging, which feels crucial.
It does.
As she navigates those difficult periods in her life.
The portrayal of Queenie's mental health is another thing that resonated with me.
Yeah.
It's handled with such sensitivity and nuance from her anxiety and depression.
To the lingering effects of past trauma.
Those therapy sessions are so raw and honest.
So raw.
The way the show visually represents Queenie's internal struggles, using close-ups, lighting, and sound is incredibly effective.
Yes, it really brings those emotions to life.
It really does.
I noticed they expanded on certain storylines from the book, too.
Oh, yeah.
For example, we get a deeper dive into Queenie's family history. Giving us a richer understanding of the intergenerational trauma that has shaped her experiences.
And they introduce a few new characters and subplots that I felt actually added to the narrative without straying too far from the heart of the book.
Overall, I'd say the Queenie TV series is definitely worth watching.
I agree.
It's a powerful and moving exploration of modern womanhood, race, identity, and the importance of finding your tribe, just like the book.
Well, listeners, that wraps up our deep dive into Candice Carty-Williams' Queenie.
Both its written and televised forms.
A great book and a great show.
I hope this exploration has given you plenty to think about.
Lots to think about.
It's been a fascinating journey with Queenie, and it's a reminder that good stories, whether in books or on screen, have the power to spark meaningful conversations.
Absolutely.
And challenge us to see the world differently.
And remember, this is just the beginning of our Black Voices series.
Yes.
We have so many more incredible authors and their stories to explore.
We do.
So stay tuned.
Yes.
Keep those minds curious.
Keep them curious.
And we'll catch you in our next deep dive.
Until then, happy reading or watching.